Hello children, welcome once again to our online classes. We are discussing about the adaptations in plants. In the last lesson, in the last period we had discussed about the adaptations in plants. Today we will continue with the part 2. I'll just give you a quick recall of what we discussed in the previous period. It is about the adaptations. As you know, all plants and living things they are all living things and they need food, water, air, shelter, and right climate to survive. Plants, in addition to this, also need the right type of soil to grow in. Okay, and different types of plants and animals live in different places. Some live in cold places as or some live in hot places. Okay, they also live in rivers and lakes and in the salty water of the oceans. Each place has its own challenges, right? I told you in the uh, in the last period that how all the plants and animals they adjust themselves to survive in their surrounding, and that is due to the adaptations. So plants and animals living in a certain place survive because they have adaptations which are suitable to that condition of the place, to that conditions. Okay, and because of the adaptations they become suitable to the surrounding. Plants and animals also look different because of the adaptations according to their surrounding. Okay, and then the plants that grow on land are called terrestrial plants. There are different types of terrestrial plants, okay, on the depending on where they grow. The plants in deserts, plants in hills, plants in plains, and plants in marshy places. We discussed plants in deserts and plants in hills in our previous period. Today we will continue with plants in plains, right? So, plants in plains. Which are the plants in the plains? They are the trees growing in the plains. They have a lot of spreading branches. Okay, and which are they? They are the trees like banyan, people, and mango. Okay, and they grow in the warmer climate of the plains because they need warm climate. While take tamarind, rubber, coconut, pepper, tea, coffee, sugarcane, they grow well in hot and wet climate. Means where there is heavy rainfall. The rainfall is heavy on that places. These trees are found. Okay, and then some of the trees are evergreen and some are deciduous. You know, deciduous and evergreen, I had also told you about these in the plants in hills. Okay, evergreen plants are those who do not shed their leaves at the same time. Okay, so they look green always throughout the year. They look green, and so they are called evergreen trees. While deciduous, they shed their leaves in the in one season, and in other season they grow the leaves. Okay, here the deciduous trees shed their leaves in the dry season to avoid the water loss. Okay, so these are the plants in the plains. The deciduous trees in the hills, they shed their leaves in the winter to protect themselves from the cold. As you know, in hills it is very much cold there, right? So here the deciduous trees shed their leaves in the dry season to avoid the water loss. Okay, so further, here are the pictures of the plants which grow in the plains, like mango. You can see the mango trees. Another is neem tree. Okay, here are the banyan trees. So these are all the plants in the plains. Now, here I'll tell about the plants in marshy places. Marshy places means the soil is covered with the water. Okay, so what happens, the roots, they do not get air because the soil from the top is covered with the water. So what happens, the roots, they grow above the soil. Okay, they grow above the soil, and these roots are also called breathing roots. You can see in the picture. Okay, and what type of trees grow here? Mangrove trees. They are called mangrove trees, which grow in such marshy places, and they have the roots which are above the soil, and these roots are also called breathing roots because they help the plant, they help the trees to breathe. Okay, because they grow above the soil. You can see in the picture how the roots are seen above the surface of the water, right? So these are mangrove tree. Another topic, that is aquatic plants. Aquatic plants means the plants that grow in water. We also have aquatic animals, the animals which live in water, they are called aquatic animals. Here we are talking about the plants, and that too aquatic plants means the plants that grow in water, they are called aquatic plants. Again, there are three types of aquatic plants: floating plants, which float on the water surface. Okay, wherever they grow, whatever the water body they grow, they float on the water surface. And another is fixed plants. Fixed plants means they are fixed at the bottom of the water surface, they cannot float. Okay, they cannot float, they are fixed. And third one is the underwater plants. Underwater plants means they are under the water surface, at the bottom of the water surface, water body, you can say, bottom of the water body, they are underwater plants. Now we will discuss one by one. See here, floating plants. Some plants float freely on the top of the water, as I told you. Therefore, they are also called floating plants. The name itself suggests floating plants means they will float on the top of the water. And for that reason, their bodies are like a sponge. Okay, means sponge is light, And why it is light? Because they have got empty spaces filled with air. Okay, so that makes their body light, and so that they are able to float. So this makes the plants light enough to float. And what are the plants which float on the water? They are water lettuce and water hyacinth. Other examples here: duckweed, water lettuce, again I am saying water hyacinth. These are the some examples of floating plants. I'll here show you the pictures. See here, duckweed. So interesting and so beautiful picture, you can see. It is floating on the surface of the water, you can see. See, this is water lettuce. Okay. Another one, water hyacinth. Right? So they are floating above the water, you can see. They are on the surface of the water. Okay, next we will discuss about the fixed plants. As I told you, as the name itself suggests, fixed, their roots are fixed to the bottom of the water bodies, ponds, lakes, whatever the water body is there. So their roots are fixed to the, and you see there you will find these plants in the smaller water body like ponds and lakes, right? And they are called fixed because their roots are fixed to the bottom. Okay, and what are other adaptations? They have plate like leaves. In the first period I had discussed about the plate like leaves. They are broad so that they can float on the surface of the water. And the stomata in leaves, in these leaves, are on the upper side. Okay, if it is on the other side, on the below side. Okay, so what will happen, it will not be able to take the air from the uh, surrounding, or from the atmosphere, you can say, because it will be covered with the water. So the stomata and the leaves are on the upper side. Another, the stem are hollow. Okay, flexible and light. Because of that, the leaves can float. Okay, and stem also bend with the flow of water, so that they make sure that the leaves are always above the water. Whatever the water level, if the water level rises or falls, the leaves are always on the top of the water that is on the water surface. And what are the examples of fixed plants? They are water lily and lotus. Okay, I'll show you the picture. You can see, this is the water lily. The stems are hollow, flexible and light, which helps leaves. You can see the leaves. Okay, leaves to float. They are broad. Okay, like a plate. Another, see, this is lotus. Here also the leaves are like plate and they can float on the surface of the water, right? Another is underwater plants. Okay, underwater aquatic plants that I shall be discussing in the next period. Until then, you can revise this and understand it well. Until then, I'll take your leave. Take care and thank